John Borman is our spirit animal. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of the Pulp Culture Cult, the PCC. I'm Sean,
I'm Janice.
and we're here once again to tell you all the cool stuff that's going on in pop culture stuff, news, things, whatever we can come up with. It's been a really slow week. That's why I kind of say whatever we can come up with, because there hasn't been a whole lot of news after the election, and we're kind of getting up to the holiday. Most everything coming up for the Christmas rush is already out, and most of the news for the spring is out. So there's really kind of a lull and stuff. That doesn't mean there wasn't anything, but that means not as much as we like. So probably be a movie centric episode this time. So we're gonna start off with all the drama with Deadpool 2 because it's Deadpool. It took them 10 years to get the first one made. They finally get it made, and it's amazing, and it makes a gazillion dollars. And then they greenlight a second one. They're greenlighting the third one. As they say, that sounds like a franchise in the movie. And but Tim Miller, who was the director in the first one, who helped Ryan Reynolds get the movie done, is out. Creative differences. And they came out last week and said David Lynch, who directed John Wick, he was a co-director in John Wick, got the job. What do you think?
I don't know. It could be. Hopefully, it doesn't change it too much. Although, if the other guy was out because of creative differences with Ryan Reynolds, then I guess that he'll want to keep it the same as the first one.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Ryan Reynolds is the main executive producer on the movie, so it's not like it's not like some actors who just get a executive credit for extra points in the back end or whatever. This was been Ryan Reynolds' baby from the whole way.
yeah.
So, and Tim Miller's production companies actually do a lot of the help in doing the special effects, but they did it really cheap last time because they did Deadpool, all the special effects for like $40 million. It's crazy. So yeah, we'll see what that goes, how that goes. And then the other kind of movie news thing that we kind of found interesting was they're talking about doing a new. Actually, they're not talking about it. They have a release date and the cast already for a new Robin Hood movie. It's supposed to come out March of 2018. It's got Taron Egerton, Taron, the kid from Kingsman, is going to play Robin Hood. Jamie Foxx is going to be Little John. Because okay, whatever. And then Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades of Grey is going to be Will Scarlet. And Eve Hawson. She's from Bridge of Spies. Have we watched Bridge of Spies? I don't think so. Is going to be Maid Marian. And then Paul Anderson's going to be in some undisclosed bad guy, whatever job. Anyways, we have 5 different versions of Robin Hood on our shelf, our DVD shelf right now. Do we need another one?
No.
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 What if they do? Remember the Romeo and Juliet set in modern times?
No.
No. Oh, come on! I thought you loved that movie.
No.
So we don't.
Are they gonna sing? I don't know. Can Jamie Dornan sing?
I don't know.
It kind of sounds like a Guy Ritchie movie.
It does sound like a Guy Ritchie movie. Although the what are they calling it? The Legend of Arthur or whatever they're doing with Guy Ritchie and Charlie Hunnam. That looks like a lot of fun because it's completely different kind of looking thing. Wow, my hand looks really big. So that one looks interesting. But why do we need another Robin Hood movie? It's been 5 minutes. We need another one. We need a cartoon one, and we need
There is a cartoon one.
Oh,
Disney
did.
Yeah. And Mel Brooks did one, and
we have that one.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe, and then there's the Kevin Costner one, and then we have the one that everybody should watch, which is Uma Thurman, her acting debut. I cannot remember the guy who played Robin, but it's actually historically, like, it's about Normans and Saxons in England, and it's like the sword fights are awesome. And that I cannot remember who actually the guy is that plays Robin. I can see his face, but anyways, that's the one you want to see. Uma Thurman, Robin Hood. Look it up. It's worth it. It's hard to find, but if you find it, buy it. It's totally worth it. So no more Robin Hoods. We're done. We're good. We're done with the remakes for a while. Uh, Legendary um, production company bought the rights to Dune. Now, my little rant about don't do any more remakes is now going to be muted because they bought the rights to Dune, which means they're going to do a Dune movie, probably a series of movies, because if you do the book right, the one that was 1984, 1985,
something like that.
that one,
Yeah.
that one is amazing, but the uncut version is like 4.5 hours long. That's like you need a meal in the middle of it, kind of movie. And but Legendary bought the rights to Dune. Legendary's done like the Watchmen and the Dark Knight series, Pacific Rim, Inception, Godzilla. So they have a pretty good track record. They also did like shit movies like Seventh Son and Warcraft. Although Warcraft apparently killed it overseas, but not here. Dracula Untold. I could have told you that was shit before it even was out because that's what we need is another Dracula movie. And then they did Jonah Hex, which was pretty bad. So I'm interested to see how they handle that. What do you think?
Yeah, they're gonna have to make it's gonna have to be like 2 movies at least. I don't know. And didn't they have? Oh no, that was like a fan saying these people should be.
Yeah, there was I believe I posted it. I want to say it was the Nerdist did a cast rundown of like people he thought would be really good, and he had Tom Holland in there, and Liam Hemsworth, and I think Paul Anderson was in there. Kate Blanchett, I think it was Kate Blanchett, yeah. And so that was kind of here's his dream list of people. So what's your dream list of seeing Paul Atreides and all them, and Gurney Halleck, and I wonder if they can get. Patrick Stewart looks exactly the same, so I wonder if they can get him back to be like Gurney.
He has a little less hair now than he has then, but he didn't have a whole lot then.
No. So it'd be interesting to see Patrick Stewart. I wonder if he could do that. I wonder if he could come back as that's something I hadn't thought about. That would be actually funny to watch. So Dune. Hopefully, Dune actually is done right. If you've ever read the source material, it's pretty epic, and they did a pretty good job with the one from the mid '80s. But the Sci-Fi Channel did a 3-part series. That one's really well done, but it's like really bright compared to the other one. So, anyways, that's the kind of the movie news that we kind of thought was interesting that we thought we'd share. But what we have left to talk about tonight on the PCC is a bunch of reviews. We've been really busy with watching shit. We went and saw The Arrival. Actually, it's called Arrival. The Arrival is a Charlie Sheen movie where the aliens' legs walk backwards. And but The Arrival with Amy Adams and
Jeremy Renner.
I want to call him Robbie Renner. Jeremy Renner and Forrest Whitaker. We went and saw that on Friday. We saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them on Sunday. Saturday evening, we watched the first episode of the Grand Tour on Amazon. And then just before we did our episode tonight, we watched the second episode of Mars from last night. And we're caught up on Arrow. And so we're going to do reviews of all of this stuff because we thought, because of the way the news is going kind of so slow, that we should probably share like stuff that we found interesting. So Arrival. We'll start there. If you haven't seen the trailer, giant egg-looking things come out of the sky. There's like 12 of them around the world, and they land. And Amy Adams is linguistics and something like that. And her job is to communicate with aliens and how to figure out how to communicate with them. And they're trying to do this all over the planet, but they happen to be here in the States in Montana. And it was really good. Like it's not what I expected it to be.
No.
What did you think of it?
It was good. It's visual, although nowhere near as visual as Fantastic Beasts, but visual in a different way.
Big wide spanning shots, like huge shots,
Yeah.
and then the people like really small to kind of show how insignificant they are in the shot and stuff.
But then as it got farther along in the
Yeah,
movie,
yeah, the people got much bigger. So if you're like a fan of J.J. Abrams, like we are, you know his style of the close up on the faces, and by the end of the movie, yeah, you could probably count.
close up
You
on
could probably
everybody.
count Amy Adams' nose hairs. It was pretty damn close.
It's
Oh,
not what you think it's going to be at all. So
I kind of thought of it as it's mother's journey wrapped in a sci-fi movie.
right, well, so the book that it was based on was called The Life of You.
The Life of Us, Life of You.
The Life of You.
Yeah.
So knowing that, it makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah. It's very well done, and it's definitely worth the watch. Amy Adams will probably get an Oscar nomination, at least for it. Not seeing some of the other stuff for the Oscar season, but she should probably be in the talk for how good she was. And Jeremy Renner's really good too. But Jeremy Renner played Jeremy Renner, which is fine, and it works. And Forrest Whitaker is amazing in anything he does. Rogue One is coming here. See, I told you I get a Star Wars reference in. So yeah, definitely worth going on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd probably give it a 7.
7.
Yeah.
I'd probably do an 8. Would we buy it?
I think I'd watch it again, but I don't know that I'd buy it. Because, buying it is a commitment. That means you're going to watch it more than once.
That's true, and it's really good, but
It's kind of one of those movies that
you have to pay attention.
Well, you do have to pay attention,
Yeah.
but once you've seen it and you know what it's about, and then that's kind of
You might have to watch it a couple times just for the visual stuff that's going on too.
Yeah.
Because you got to get lost in some of the stuff that's going on sometimes, and so it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely go see it in the theater on a big screen if you can. I know it's been out for a couple of weeks. You might be able to still get it in IMAX. I believe it came out in IMAX, but it's definitely worth going to see on a big screen and not on your little TV, your little 12-inch TV you have on your desk. So yeah, definitely I give it probably it's 7.5, 8, somewhere in that range kind of thing.
I give it a 7. You give it an 8. That's a 7.5.
That's math.
Yes, it is math.
Fucking math. I was told there was no math. This is a geekdom fucking pop culture shit, not math class.
So we give it 7.5 pops.
As pops, as a team total. And the Russian judge gives it a 3.
He brings the score down.
We gotta take out the top one and the bottom. Never mind. Okay, so then on Sunday we went and saw Fantastic Beasts. We have a group of about 15 friends, and we go to the movies together once a month, and we do a team. We all get together before the movie and kind of hang out. We go see the movie, and then we get together afterwards, and we spend about 10-15 minutes talking about the movie and how cool it was. And then it was awesome. Fantastic Beasts was awesome.
Yes.
Like, I would probably go see it again next weekend in the theater.
So Star Wars, when the new one came out, and my husband, every time the trailer would start, my husband would get goosebumps when the music started, and I kind of felt that way with the Harry Potter music when it started, and you're like, it's kind of like an old sweater. You just put it back on.
If you watch Freeform this weekend, they showed all of the Harry Potter. So
yeah.
It's set 70 years before the first of the Harry Potter movies. It's set in New York, so they have to spend some time explaining New York American versions of the British words. So instead of a Muggle, they're
non-Madge.
And
No-Madge.
No-Madge. That's it. No-Madge. And so stuff like that they had to kind of explain. They spent some time doing, and magic is kind of illegal in New York, and so they have to be underground. it's 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 a Harry Potter movie. I mean, it's got everything you want to see in a Harry Potter movie, and it's got all these uh, fantastic
Fantastic
beasts.
Beasts.
Imagine that. But it's really cool the way they do the whole explaining how he keeps all of the beasts together and how he keeps uh, how he learns from them and how he uses them and how he keeps them safe. They explain all that really well. We won't get into that here because we don't want to spoil it for you. We're not those people, and we don't have the spoiler graphic to pop up and say spoiler. So Eddie Redmayne can act. People, the dude's a badass. He one of the things I caught, I don't know if you saw it, but when he was walking along the street, he had this cadence in his walk that was very awkward.
Yes.
And he kind of walked kind of like at the side leg.
Yeah, and he always kind of he was never quite in a conversation.
Yeah,
he always kind of like
he always kind of turned his head away from a conversation, and it's important when he actually stops and looks at you. It means something, and the dude can fucking act. It's amazing how good he is. And it's gonna sound really weird. We both got done watching the movie, and we both went, "I want to see the Danish Girl now." I went and saw a book about magic in the 20s, and now I want to go see it. It's Eddie Redmayne. He's amazing, and Dan Folger, who's from Fanboys, and I'm gonna make all these weird references. Fanboys and Balls of Fury, and he's like got the curly hair and stuff. He's in it. He's awesome in it too. He's really funny. He's kind of the. He's kind of the. I he's not the comic relief, but he's the levelty. He brings it brings back this seriousness of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't explain too much about his character without giving stuff away. But
yeah,
I kept wanting to yell, "It's a carriage house!"
It's a carriage house
at the screen. But
we will do a Fanboys review at some point in our time here. But yes, definitely worth watching. Definitely worth watching on the big screen. Out of 10,
ooh, 9.
oh, it's a buy. I know that much.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna buy it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 9. It's the first one, and so there was a whole lot of stuff building, story building, character building.
Yeah, they had to build the universe a little bit.
Yeah. And I just wanted to get in there and start telling the story, but it was definitely worth it.
And, yeah, definitely. I would say 8, 9, 9 in that area right in there. It's not the perfect movie, but for what we want out of a movie, which is entertainment and have fun. The Arrival was fun, but made us think. That's perfectly okay. But we go to movies for escapism. You're sucked into. I mean, I was right at the end of the steps. We had a little girl coming in and out. She was like 3. She kept crying, coming right in and out, and I was still sucked into the movie. So definitely worth it.
Don't bring your 3-year-old. I think she might have been 2. Don't bring your 2-year-old to the movies, people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get a babysitter. Spend the money. Care.com. That's not payable unless they want to start paying us to promote for them. Care.com. You can find all kinds. You can find babysitters for your parents too. But yeah, don't take your kids to the movie. But Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Definitely go see it in the theater. Definitely worth it. And definitely go. Don't need to stay through the credits. Do need to stay till the end. Like and not really spoilery.
Yeah.
And it's not spoilery. All right, so that's a Fantastic Beast.
Yeah, don't leave early.
Oh no, don't. If you leave early, then that means it's just a terrible movie. On Saturday night, we actually we broke down and bought a year subscription for Amazon Prime, and now shipping is free.
We've already taken advantage of that.
The French press will be here tomorrow, because that's how we roll. So we bought the Grand Tour. We bought Amazon to get the Grand Tour. Now, if you don't know what the Grand Tour is, um, we are car people. Along with the pop culture stuff that we're really into. We're really into cars and trucks and motorcycles and pretty much anything you can go really fast in or look really pretty in. And so we went to a car show on Saturday morning, and then got home and we watched the Grand Tour. And the Grand Tour is Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May, who were the three from Top Gear in the UK on BBC. And they asked Jeremy Clarkson to leave. They didn't fire him.
They didn't fire him. That's what Clarkson said.
I think he left on his own, but
they didn't renew them.
They didn't renew them. Yes. Well, Clarkson left. May and Hammond said, "Fuck you, BBC, we're leaving." And then the head executive producer left, who created probably. I don't want to say for sure, but I think it's the most watched show in the world was Top Gear.
Yeah, I think that's. I heard that.
They're in like.
They're like every country.
Like I want to say like 50. They were in like 50 or 60 countries. There was different versions of Top Gear all over. There was Australian one. There was one here in the States. There's a Germany one. And there's like spin-offs of all these different versions of it. So it was a massively popular show. And Jeremy Clarkson made some people mad, and they didn't renew him. So everybody left, and the world wept for a few days. And then BBC tried to put some monstrosity out there that they called Top Gear. And so Amazon came up and said, "Hey guys, we have an idea. Here's $100 million. Go make us a cool show." And they said, "Oh, okay."
And they did.
And it's awesome. It's a car show. So if you're not into cars, okay, I get that. But it's also
it's a
buddy show.
Yeah,
it's a buddy show.
It's a comedy.
They make fun of each other, and they travel. They do a bunch.
They do things that you really probably aren't wise. Shouldn't do at all.
No, and they kill. Should I spoil it? I'm going to spoil it.
No. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Spoiler thing, right?
No, don't spoil it. Okay, no, don't spoil it. There
were murders.
Epic. Okay, there were murders. All right.
So they did a couple car reviews, which was kind of the mainstay of the old show, and then they did what was the trip that they did? They did a car challenge with they had the McLaren P1, the LaFerrari, and the Porsche 998.
Yeah,
and they're all hypercars that are hybrids, and so they were fighting over which one was the best one, and making fun of the Ferrari, which is a ridiculous car, and
you can't even drive on the road.
$2 million for a car that you can't drive on the road. Whatever. So it was really, really well done. Like I miss the old Top Gear. It was fun. I laughed. I cried. We giggled a lot. Definitely worth. If you have Amazon Prime, definitely worth watching. And then I saw today that Amazon announced that it's the highest watched show ever on Amazon.
I wouldn't doubt that.
It came on Friday.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Friday. So Friday. Hold on. Here we go, math. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's Tuesday. That's 5 days, and it's already broken every record.
Yeah. So they spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you can tell. And it's cool because now they can swear, and they don't do a ton, but they do. You know, when you're driving at a ridiculous speed with a car that you're barely controlling, you know, and poo comes out. Then you can actually say that.
Yeah. This episode they had would they say $3.5 million worth of cars or $4 million worth of cars in the 3 cars, and they did a drag race at a track in Hungary, and may or may not have hit the brakes in the right time. Would have been a very expensive afternoon.
Yeah.
I hope you have insurance. But definitely go check that. I know it's not, pop culture. Well, it's not geek culture. It is pop culture because it's, it's kind of in the lexicon of, with the Stig and Top Gear and stuff like that. But it's definitely worth the watch. Definitely worth the watch.
They need to make pops. Oh, but they can't do one of the Stig, right? Because BBC kept the Stig.
I bet you they could do Clarkson and
Hammond and Mank.
Can they do Hammond on fire when he did the drag car?
That would be
He
bad.
crashed a jet car
and like almost died.
And almost died. Yeah.
Really almost died.
That would actually be funny if they did a fire one. That would actually totally be worth the show. Actually, I'll tell this quick story, then we'll move on. They have an agreement between the three of them that if one of them die during filming for something on the show, they will show it on the show, and then they'll get done, and then the next thing they say will be, and then so, and just skip right on. And so they're totally worth they take total shots at each other all the time. Clarkson's my size, Hammond's like a midget.
He's not a midget.
May's got like old lady hair.
They call it Captain Slow.
And, so definitely worth the watch. Go check it out. Amazon Prime, the Grand Tour. Go see it. And then tonight, before we came on tonight, we watched Mars Episode 2. On Nat Geo. We talked about it last week with the premiere episode and all the stuff that was going on, and it's a fictional documentary is what we called it last week about going to Mars and what it would take and what would happen, and the fictional stuff happens in 2033, and then they use a bunch of interviews and things that are going on today to kind of show how we can get from today to that point. And tonight's episode was about what happens when they get there, and kind of how space travel affects your body, and how you spend 10 months in zero gravity, and then you get to Mars, and it's the moon. It's a third of our gravity. It's an eighth of our gravity on the moon.
Yeah,
it's like a third.
It's more than the moon, but less than the Earth.
Yeah. And so how does your body adjust?
And then it's super, super cold. They said that at the equator on the hottest summer day, it would be 0 degrees Celsius, and it gets down to 100 below at night.
So it's you're trying to keep yourself oxygenated. Hey, I got it. That's one of the words I can't say. And keep yourself warm and all that stuff. And so it was very interesting. If you're into the science and space travel and stuff like that, Mars is definitely worth the watch. This is 2 episodes now we've watched, and we're totally sucked in. And it helps it's only 6 episodes, but it's definitely worth the watch to see kind of how we get there. Buzz Aldrin is all about trying to get us to Mars, and so is Elon Musk. And what is his name? It's been 100. They talked about in the episode. It's been 100 days or a year on
Scott Kelly or Mark Kelly. It's one of the Kelly brothers.
One of the Kelly brothers. I want to say Scott.
Yeah.
Mark, the one married to
Gabby
Gifford.
Yeah, I think it's
okay. So Scott Kelly.
Scott.
They're twins, and Scott Kelly spent a year on the International Space Station, and he came back to the States like almost a whole inch taller than his brother, because he spent so much time and his spine expanded and stuff like that. And so they talked about how prolonged space travel, how it would affect the body, and they're still learning about how extended times have affected Scott Kelly. And
what was the first thing he said when they picked him up? You were the one that told me when they picked him up out of the capsule.
Oh, what was it? Fuck.
He said we have to go to Mars.
Oh yeah, so they were showing him landing, because the Russians at that time were the ones who were taking everybody up to the International Space Station. So they were landing in Siberia, and so they were showing the video of him landing in first thing they said was one of the first things he talked about was we have to go to Mars. We have to go to Mars.
He just spent a year in space, and the first thing he says is, "We have to go to Mars."
Yeah, and he said I would go. And he's got a daughter and he's got a girlfriend, and he's like, I would totally go. And then we started talking about outside of the show. We started talking about he's probably outside of the appropriate age to make it work. He's probably a little old right now because we're not ready to go right now. We're probably ready to go in like 10 years, right? So maybe at that point in time. But yes, Nat Geo, they're doing a really good job. They actually put some money into it, and they got all the people you want to know about, talking about going to Mars on the show. So definitely worth a watch, and it helps if it's in HD because it's just again with the visualness of HD cable television and being able to kind of see the large expanses and stuff, on Mars and how they're doing all that. It's really cool, really well done. We'll do another review next week of the third episode. And in closing tonight, we caught up on Arrow. We're gonna go catch up on Flash and Legends of Tomorrow after we're done here, because on November 28th, the Arrowverse Super Duper Uber crossover event is happening. And you're
now with aliens.
Because if you don't know what the Arrowverse is, it's all the DC shows on the CW. So they're calling it the DCCW. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
It's DC, the Arrowverse, and Supernatural on CW. It's so confusing. Anyways, so they're doing a super crossover event. It's a 4-way crossover with Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. And each of the 4 episodes are directly interconnected with each other. And they've done this in the past with Arrow and Flash, where they had the crossovers with Barry Allen and Oliver Queen and stuff like that. But this is everybody. And if you've seen the Entertainment Weekly, my nose just totally itches. It's so unprofessional of me. It's a good thing we're not getting paid. If Care.com wants to sponsor us, we'll totally take a sponsorship.
And he won't scratch.
And I won't scratch my nose anymore. This is the Entertainment Weekly did the big crossover episode where they showed all this stuff coming from the set. They did a bunch of photos and everything. If you've seen those floating around, it's been really cool. I really love Arrow. I mean, Arrow's the kind of the thing that got me into the DC TV universe, and I really, really, really like Legends of Tomorrow. It's very Doctor Who. She's wearing a Doctor Who shirt, so it's very Doctor Who.
And it helps that Rory was the captain.
Arthur. Fuck, he was just here for Comic-Con. Arthur. What's his real name? Arthur. I want to say McNeil, and I don't think that's right. Rory from Doctor Who. We'll just go with that. So I really like that show. So having the time travel and crossover and Supergirl and Flash, and then we saw the trailer. Oh, I saw the trailer, and there's fucking aliens. Hey, sure, why not?
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
It's aliens. So that's starting next on the 28th, which is next Monday, with Supergirl. We'll be in the middle of it when we do next week's show, so we'll try to do some kind of rundown of it, probably the week after, because we'll be caught up with everything. Are you excited for the crossover thing?
I don't know.
It's not shark jumping yet.
Well, they haven't started singing yet, so I guess.
Buffy did an episode. It was called One More Time with Feeling, and that Buffy episode was awesome. It wasn't Muppets on Angel.
That's true. That did jump the shark.
That jumped the shark.
Yeah.
Although somehow that worked out too.
I don't know. We don't watch Supergirl, so we're forced to watch Supergirl. So, I guess we'll.
Everybody says Supergirl is really good.
Yeah, we have 50 million other shows to watch. We don't need another one, but
we have to go watch Flash tonight because this is Kevin Smith's episode.
Oh,
this is the episode that Kevin Smith directed is going on, at least for us, right meow.
Right meow.
So what do you guys think? Like I said, it's kind of a slow news week for us, but we had all the reviews and stuff. What did you think of Arrival and Fantastic Beasts? Are you watching Mars, the Grand Tour? Are you excited about all the fucking remakes they're doing right now? Let us know. You can get a hold of us on Facebook at the Pop Culture Cult, on Instagram at the Pop Culture Cult 1, or on Twitter at pop_cult1, and then we'll be on YouTube at Pop Culture Cult. Let us put some comments in, like it, share it with your friends. Tell them how ridiculous the two of us are about what we're talking about because we're idiots, but we're still talking about stuff and having fun. So if you have questions, comments, you want to tell us what you think, let us know. And anything else for tonight?
No.
Good. All right. We're 35 minutes in. Thank you.